Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time we are here with
Elijah Green.
And what'd you place and what'd you play?
I got top 4 at the YuGiOh Nationals, and I played Marincess.
All right, do you have any shout outs you want to do before we hop in?
Shout out to Joe, he helped me build the deck a whole lot. Of course, shout out to the team. Shout out to DB Grinder, and shout out to my car, all my locals, you know, couldn't do it without everybody else. So, yeah, I'm
all
ready
right,
to get into it.
Yep, let's hop right in.
So, main part of the deck, hand traps, reason to play the deck, triple Ogre, triple Veiler, triple Ash, triple Nib, triple Imperm. So you play a ton of hand traps. And it's not really a hand trap, but another defensive talents. Just didn't want to get scythe locked this weekend, so just kind of maxed out on all the hand traps that are decent that we could possibly play. This is probably like the most questionable one, but expected like a decent amount of Brave decks and Sword Soul, so it went really well, honestly. I thought Ogre was crazy this weekend. And that's the defensives. And then Engine, the shittiest one, but you gotta play it to do the 1-card Argonaut play. And then double Pascal. I was just playing one of this originally, but the math works out where you want to play a little bit more names, and it's like really crazy in the grind to just be like dumping this off Tang when you don't need to dump anything else, because it gives you an extra dive add back on the next turn with its graveyard effect. Triple Spring, triple Blue Tang. Shout out to Blue Tang. This card's Gazelle, this card's Foxy. It's at 3. Ridiculous. Triple Starlight Seahorse. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. None of these cards belong to me. Shout outs to Austin Long, Diabetic Daddy. He gave me every single one of these cards, so shout out to him. And then that's all for the monsters. Just all 1-card starters besides Maiden, which I drew way too much. Marincess spells, field spell, double dive. Played this at 3 for a really long time, but I don't think it makes sense because you can always search it and it's not a starter, whereas like all the monsters are starters and extenders, so there's just like no point in maxing out on this. I think 2 is the right number. And then Desires, another reason this deck's good. You get to play Pot of Greed. Called by, God card. Triple Mining, 3 more of any card in your deck. And then the 1 wave to search off Triangle. This card's ridiculous. The amount of times people forget that it makes all your monsters unaffected is crazy. I had so many people try to pop my Toad after I waved their board, and I'm just like, sure. That's all for the main deck. Cider extra.
Whatever you want.
We'll just do the extra real quick. 2 Blue Slug and 2 Sea Angel. Occasionally a third one of this comes up, and at one point I was even just playing one of this, but the second one definitely comes up. This is like how you grind. Just being able to like go into these every single turn is pretty important. Double Coral, and then the Splash Mage. This was Crystal Heart for a long time, but I kind of came to the decision that that card sucked. It's only really relevant versus like Striker and like Flunder, Eldritch, kind of, but not really, because they really just out the field spell and then out the guy, because Crystal Heart doesn't do anything if the field spell is not on field. So this is better when you get nibbed, because you can like start with this, bring back a guy, and then go into Coral. And this is less than 1500, so you can bring it back, and that just lets you get into a Link 4 when you couldn't otherwise. So definitely worth playing. And then the Water Charmer, you got to be able to link off your nibs, your nib tokens, and it's pretty sick. You can take like Moyes and stuff and do some crazy plays. So.
I took us to Thana with it.
Oh, God,
and killed both of his monks.
And then the 2 Link 3s, you have to play Marbled Rock. This card went crazy for me in the feature, if anybody saw this. I blocked him under Gozen. He was playing dragons, and he attacked with the Griffin Rider to try and kill it, and I used the effect to stop the attack. So he still took 2,000, and the Griffin Rider stayed on board, and he just passed back, and I killed him. Coral Triangle to search the trap. This card's also slow charge. Nobody ever remembers the graveyard effect. They just clear my board, and I'm like, activate Soul Charge, summon back Coral in a Link 1. And then Argonaut and Bubble Reef. This one you normally try to end on. This definitely still comes up a lot. It's very important to be able to kill them. It gets really big when you start activating like Spring and Maiden, and then using its effect to bring back a giant like Argonaut from your first turn or Marble Grok. And then XYZ, Shark, and Toad. I still think you play these even if you don't play the Shark cards. You just need a way to like force out Nib, and it just insulate your plays a lot. It makes it better when you draw a lot of engine, because like if you don't play the XYZs, you're just ending on Argonaut, and it's just not enough. And then Kragan, this is how you kill people. Give somebody an 8k Nib token and burn them for 4,000, and just punch them once. That was all the extra. Side deck. Triple token collector. Sword Soul can be a kind of wonky matchup, but this is just really good coverage versus like the Brave decks and Sword Soul. So, and you can just leave this on your field after you stop their turn with token collector, and it makes it where you can't be nibbed, which is like the best hand trap versus this deck. So that's the main reason I wanted to play this so badly, is it just makes you nib proof. And then triple Droll for combo decks, or if anybody was still on like Allure, Despia, and stuff like that. 2 Crow? We added this like this week, right? Yeah.
We needed to take out cards from the Despia matchup. We have Nib Ogre in our main deck, so we needed to take out 6 cards.
Yeah.
So
we had to be able to fit in 2 more cards to take out Nib and Ogre, because they're both useless versus Despia. So this was just the next best card. Thought about Foolish Return, but just kind of decided this was better.
Overlap.
Yeah, better versus other decks. Drytron and stuff, which was pretty scary. Back row, triple Lightning Storm, and Feather Duster. Probably one of the only regrets of the weekend is I was staring at like almost a playset of these while Ryan Yu was going crazy because I had my field spell and couldn't activate any of them. But it also won me 2 games versus Eldritch, and this deck kind of struggles versus back row a little bit. So I don't regret it really. There might be an argument for playing Twin over this. I wouldn't blame you if you did, but it worked for me this weekend. And then the God card, triple Gozen. Yeah. Oh, this won me so many games this weekend. It's a counter to Nib. It just beats a bunch of decks on its own too. You can like get nibbed, add back Snowy Maiden, and then just set Gozen, flip it, make it to where their deck doesn't work, and then when they pass back, you just tricky set the Maiden so that you can start playing. It's like so good. And yeah, that's everything.
All right, thank you for the deck profile, bro. Congrats.
Thank you.
And with all that being said, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace.